The man placed a newspaper in the dog's mouth and asked it to deliver it to his wife. His wife was shocked when she saw the dog bring the newspaper home. She took the dog into the room and told it to put the newspapers in the basket. From that day on, the dog would go back to the station where the man worked and wait for its owner to finish work. This dog was the one the man had found on his way to work. Seeing the poor little creature, he couldn't bear to abandon it. He suggested a colleague take it in, but the colleague's wife was afraid of dogs, so no one dared to take it. The man's wife didn't like dogs either, so after getting home he secretly hid the dog in the attic, but the dog snuck out. He hurried to hide it again, only for his son to discover it. His wife told him he had to get rid of the dog. The man had no choice but to put up a free adoption sign at the door, though he didn't really want to give the dog away when someone came to adopt it. He tried every trick to stop them. His wife guessed his true intentions, and when he got home from work she told him the dog had been adopted by the owner of a dog meat shop. The man couldn't hold back anymore. He brought the dog home despite everyone's opposition. Over the years he had always prioritized his family's feelings and rarely pursued his own hobbies. Now he just wanted to keep a dog, but his family was against it. He firmly told them, "I'm keeping this dog and no one can stop me." The man's persistence finally let the dog stay, and he grew closer to the dog every day. One day when the man went to work, the dog quietly followed him out of the house. At the station, as the cable car was about to close, the dog barked, so the man had to get off. He carried the dog out of the station and wanted it to go home, but the dog stopped on the stairs and refused to move, so the man gave it a task to deliver the newspaper to his wife. When he finished work, the first thing he saw was the dog. He was overjoyed, never expecting the dog to be so smart. From that day on, the dog went to work with the man every day, delivered the newspaper home, and then returned to the station to wait for him, until one day the man had to go on a business trip for a few days. The dog seemed to sense something and didn't want him to leave. It chased after the cable car but couldn't stop him and could only watch him go. That very day the man suddenly had a heart attack while inspecting a boat and collapsed before he could take his medicine. The dog didn't know what had happened. It still waited at the station, hoping to see its owner again. Even when the staff locked the doors, it refused to leave. Not long after, the man's son planned to take his mother to the city, so the dog was left at the daughter's house. She locked it at home, but the dog found a way out and ran back to the station again. Even in the rain it stayed in the same spot. The newspaper shop owner was moved by its devotion and gave it a newspaper. The dog carried the newspaper back to the old house, and that night it slept there. From then on, the dog repeated the same routine at the station every day. 10 years passed and the man's wife came back here again. She found the dog was still there, but the dog had grown old, no longer as energetic as before. The dog led them back to the old house, and they were stunned by what they saw. Over the years the dog had placed all the newspapers exactly where she had told it to, and now it had peacefully fallen asleep in its dream. It returned to the days when it was a puppy. Hearing its owner's call, it ran over and finally reunited with the owner it had missed day and night. Do you also have a loyal companion at home?